Hello and welcome back to the Tao Manifesting Tarot. This is the tarot reading for serious tarot people. If you're thinking unicorns, lollipops, rainbows, we're not for you. We're not for you. I don't do a whole bunch of card layout. I've seen tarot readers put out 20, 30, 40, 50, more. To me, that's not a tarot reading, that's a circus. I've seen tarot readers spend more time than they spend on their tarot reading talking about what their neighbors are doing, what the weather's like outdoors. We don't do that here. We are in historically significant times. This is not light reading. Take about 10, 15 minutes. I'm going to go through. You're going to get an idea of what the frequency is at this reading, the time you're hearing it. If it resonates with you, great. I advise you strongly, full speed ahead. If it doesn't, that's okay. The truth is, and I've done tarot for over 20 years, astrology, numerology for over 50. And in all those years, not just in my readings, but seeing other people's readings, you get maybe 10% of the people who view or listen to the reading actually resonate with it. I mean, you're going to get some interesting information, some interesting insights, but the fact of the matter is really resonating with the frequency. That only happens about 10% of the time. So you put 10 people in a room, one of the 10 is going to get the frequency, the other ones are going to go, well, okay, try again next time. I do a brand new read every day, 365, holidays, doesn't make any difference, I'm here. I want to inspire you to activate your most potent power as a human being. The ability to create pictures in your head. Manifest. Robots can't do that yet. This is the big advantage we have over robots. I know we hear all the time, oh, AI this, AI that, AI, EIO. I think it's like all the rest of the stuff they've been throwing at us for decades. It's bullshit. It's a psyops. You know that they're constantly gathering data from you every time. When you're on your phone, when you're on your computer, doesn't make any difference. Your car updates them with what you're doing, not only in terms of audio, but also visually. You are being tracked and traced 24/7, 365. And you put up with it. So a lot of what we're facing right now is your fault, my fault. You know, here in the United States, we have a phrase, government by, for, and of the people. People have just decided to opt out. They're not going to do it. No, I want to watch Oprah. I want to see some game show. I realize it's difficult, and I realize it's depressing. I've been going through this intensively for the last 4 or 5 years. Less intensively, but still very much aware, since frankly, the day that John Kennedy got assassinated. And then his brother, Martin Luther King Jr., I think they got rid of John Lennon because he was talking about revolution. I believe they got rid of George Carlin because he was talking about revolution. 9/11, all you got to do is look at the film. Talk to an architect, talk to an engineer. You know it was an inside job, and there's a lot of information. I don't want to get sidetracked by that. But my point is very simply, this game has been played on us for decades and centuries. In fact, here in the United States, I think it really coalesced with the formation of the Fed, 1913. But again, it's a sidetrack. My point is this. These are very serious times because for the first time in recorded history, that's the last 6, maybe 7,000 years, we could certainly go back farther than that, but we don't have information. We see the buildings, we don't have the information, and so that really doesn't serve us all that well right now. But last 6 or 7,000 years, we got a pretty fair amount of information. First time in 6 or 7,000 years, we can wipe ourselves out. Absolutely. We got the robots taking all of our jobs, our purpose, our meaning in life. We become wards of the state. We got potential for nuclear war. They are doing something in the skies, not just with the drones, but look at the fog. Look what's going on in LA. I think that would be enhanced by the weather stuff that they've been doing for several years. So and then of course the food, the air, the water in general. I mean, it's intense. I get it. But that's why I want you to activate your most powerful defense, and that is your brain. I want you to manifest. Now, I've done tarot for more than 20 years. Tarot is the science of potential. I have done astrology, numerology for over 50 years. Those are the science of cycles. You can predict things with astrology and numerology that you can't do with the tarot. In fact, truth is, I have, other than a James Bond movie, I have never, ever seen in my 20 years plus anybody really predict anything of meaning, of content on tarot. And that's because it's potential. You have to tune in. You have to resonate with the frequency. You have to create the pictures in your head. And right now, too many of us are letting the computers make the pictures in our head. Just the way it was planned, because if they can dumb us down, they got us. And they're well on their way. So I want to put a stop to it. I want you to be inspired. Let's get to it. 5 cards, that's all. Don't need more. We're talking about frequency. We're talking about potential. Middle card is the Oracle card. Today it says breathe. Now, that would seem a fairly obvious, innocuous thing. Well, sure, of course. You got to breathe to live, right? But I remember my wife and I having a conversation about this some time ago. She was at work. I was on the phone. I had just gotten off the radio. I worked as a broadcaster for a long time. I just got home. I called her up, said, "Hey, honey, what's up?" and stuff. We get into a really kind of goofy conversation. And she says to me, she says, I just noticed something while we're having this conversation. I said, "What?" She says, "I'm not breathing." I say, "You got to be breathing a little bit." She says, "Yeah, I am, a little bit. I'm sitting at my desk. I'm not exercising. I'm not straining or stressing myself. I'm barely breathing." And I realize that she's right. If you don't breathe, you can't live. We are, for lack of a better term right now, chemical factories, biological chemical factories. We need the oxygen to create the heat of life. That's why you have a temperature. And it has to be around 98.6, give or take a little, so that the mixture is burned, the fuel is burned sufficiently. So the idea of breathe, yeah, it's important. It's really, really important. But it's so much more. Breathing, as we know, activates your parasympathetic system. You have a sympathetic, parasympathetic. Sympathetic, fight or flight. Parasympathetic, you're mellow, you're relaxed. Being in parasympathetic is really, really healthy because you're putting minimum stress on your biological body. You're getting maximum oxygen. That's why taking a deep breath relaxes you. It restores the chemical balance. So the concept of breathe, and it looks like she's doing a good job of it, is critical. But the act of breathing is so much more. Because in activating your parasympathetic system, getting you into a relaxed state, you welcome your world in. It's like a welcome mat, a cosmic welcome mat. You're open. You're not shut off. You're not protecting your relaxed. Next time you're in that place, that space, just take a quick notice at how open you are. And at that point, realize your system is functioning A-OK 100%. So the act of breathing is really an act of welcoming the universe, the universal energies. That's powerful. The meme for today says, we don't create infinite abundance. Abundance is always present. Instead, what we often create are blockages, limitations. Get rid of those blockages and limitations. Remove those things. You will attract what you desire. That's the welcome mat effect. And just be open. Just be open. Up in the right-hand corner, we have a 2 and a 9. 2 is a decision. 9 is wrapping up. 2 and 9 together is an 11. Normally, I would take an 11 and go to 2, decision. But 11 is a master number, meaning this is literally a life and death decision for you. This is monumental. Are you going to relax? Are you going to activate the parasympathetic? Are you just going to be open? Act of faith, really, these days for sure. The welcome mat. Breathe. Okay, let's begin. All the way to the right, we go to the 8 of Cups. Cups are not necessarily relationships in the strictest sense of the word. Cups talk about things that we have an emotional reaction to. It can be good, it can be bad, generally good, but we can be negatively emotionally addicted. Point of the matter is that cups are things that attract us. A person, an idea, a theory, a place, doesn't make any difference. Memory. 8 of Cups says you're walking away from those memories. You're leaving them behind because you realize, okay, they were good then, they don't apply now. And they certainly don't work. You feel unfulfilled. And there's no turning back. With this card, you make that decision to breathe, to throw out the welcome mat to the cosmos. You make that decision, you're never going to go back. And the card after it is a 7 of Cups, so it's related. 7 of Cups talks about daydreaming, decisions, wishful thinking. You have so many choices, you just can't make up your mind. And that's what you're in the process of doing right now. You're looking at all your options. You're saying, okay, how's life going so far? Pretty uptight. Need to breathe more. Need to throw out the cosmic welcome mat. Let that abundance come in. Get rid of the blockages and limitations. One way that you do that, of course, is gratitude. Next card, 6 of Swords. Swords are thoughts, ideas, beliefs. 6 of Swords says that you are taking what you know to be true from life experience, and you're moving on. You may know what your destination is. You may not. It doesn't make any difference. You're still making the decision to move on. I can't stay here. I can't do this the same way. I can't think the same thoughts. I can't. I got to walk away from the stuff that I'm emotionally connected to. That just brought me down. Kept me from breathing. Final card is the Knight of Wands. Knights always bring gifts. Wands are positivity, joy, enthusiasm, gratitude. If you breathe, if you roll out the welcome mat to the universe, if you have faith, and it's going to work itself out. I don't have a damn idea how. I don't have a clue. But I'm just going to believe. That's all I got. But I'm going to believe. I'm going to keep breathing deeply. Keep opening myself to the universe. Get rid of the blockages and limitations that I put on there. If I do that, I will get this Knight of Wands. I'll get the present that the Knight brings. Positivity, joy, enthusiasm. Actually living your life, not somebody else's, plugged into a real life. My God. Roll out the welcome mat. That's the reading for today. Back again tomorrow with another Tao manifested reading. Between now and the next time you and I do this again, peace, blessings.